Just hit my hand.
No!
Ooh, I've been doing good all day.
We both have hurt our hands in the last 2 weeks. It's not okay.
Wait, what did you do?
I was trying to save a child from a falling witch broom in rehearsal, and just it hit me perfectly, and it went doing and popped a little blood vessel. It's completely healed, thankfully.
Yay!
But it's just
I've done that to myself when clapping.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't do it again now.
Yeah. No, I cut a hole in my hand.
Can that be the teaser to start the episode?
Probably.
I cut a hole in my hand.
Hey everyone, my name's Alyssa.
And my name is Brennan. Welcome back to the Modern Singer Podcast.
So today's topic is something that I have to really remind myself this semester because I have 17 freshmen coming in at the college. Last semester I had 5.
That is a significant difference.
Not only that, half of them are theater freshmen. And if they hear this, I love you. Don't panic. You're just a lot of energy and I love you. I was also you. It's okay.
I love energy is great. Keep it
Energy
up.
is wonderful as long as it is also returned and replenished. But today we are talking about how to balance your teaching. How to balance. Oh no. How to balance your teaching and singing careers. So, the first point. Because Brennan and I are both teachers.
We are both teachers, we're both performers, and ultimately we're still trying to figure out this balance ourselves.
Every day. Every day is different. I've been a voice teacher since 2015.
I have not. I have been a voice teacher since about 2020.
Okay. I have also noticed there's an extreme difference in my private voice studio and my college voice studio.
Agreed. I agree with that.
The first difference is most of my private voice studio students are middle schoolers. So that's one huge difference. And we can really dig into all sorts of technique and we can take as long as we need to get through it. Whereas my college kids, I'm like, cool, we have to hit certain milestones this semester for me to feel comfortable sending you out into the world.
Agreed. Ultimately, yes. I have also taught at a university myself, and I agree there are differences. Yeah, me too. I have taught, and I had 16 in my studio when I was teaching at a university for both semesters, and there are certain milestones you have to hit when you're in a collegiate setting versus a private setting. My private studio, I have people of different ages, but primarily adults. But I have people that are focused more on opera and then all the way over in musical theater too. So I'm got completely different styles that are teaching, and you are too. So
oh yeah, no, I teach all the styles.
All the styles.
Everything. Look, I am your girly unless you want me to teach you scatting, in which case I am not your girly. Please don't come to me. If it is not written down, I can't do it. Improv is not my thing. It makes me very uncomfortable. Nope, not me. Not me.
I am better at the acting improv, not the vocal improv.
Correct.
There are reasons why we still use ornamentation books and steal ornamentations from other people's in the opera world. Yes.
I don't even know how to segue this, but the first thing that is the most important part of being a teacher while you are performing and trying to be in this career as well is managing your own energy. That was so hard for me last semester.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't noticed, Alyssa and I, especially when we teach, are extroverted.
What?
Shocking.
I know. I mean, I'm an extrovert 100% of the time. So
I am an extrovert, I would say 80% of the time. I would say a lot of people would not believe me when I say I'm an extroverted introvert, but
You're an ambivert. That's actually the term of it. That's the term. It's like ambidextrous, ambivert.
But it just sounds too close to Amber Alert.
Oh, no.
Which is something completely different. Anyway, balance.
You've aged out of that one.
Yay!
Welcome to your dirty 30s. Hey, I love my 30s so far. They're great.
It's only been 10 days of mine, so I can't say that, ultimately.
I'm only like 6 months in.
Anyway, extroverted. The biggest thing I have realized with teaching and being an extrovert, especially when I teach, is I need to remember to shut up.
Yes.
Ultimately. It is a voice lesson. Yes, I do know a lot of information because I paid a lot of money at school to learn this information. But ultimately, I want my students to sing and get better. And the best way for them to get better is to do. They need to sing and be able to articulate what they are doing back to me. So I need to remember, give them the highlights, listen, and allow them to sing more in a lesson. That is the biggest thing I am still reminding myself to do to this day.
Oh, I have to remind myself out loud. I will, in the middle of someone's lesson, just go, like, I'm talking, like, I have said the same thing 3 times. I'm going to stop. Your turn. Chord. Yeah, I think something else that I have to remind myself is how long my day is and how to like really spend my energy wisely is something that I had to learn last semester. I don't think I ever really perfected it. I always got a little loopy around 3:30, but I was also pulling like 14-hour days because I have a 2-hour commute one way. And then I would teach for like 8 to 10 hours and then I had a 2-hour commute home. So I had some long days, but
I get that.
Really thinking about how to manage my energy, knowing that there are some students who just want to focus in and really just do the work. And there are some students that I have to pull energy out of a little bit.
Yes, agreed.
And I have to engage with each of them very differently because I want to make sure that I'm meeting them where they are. I want to talk in the language that they learn in. And I want to make sure that they actually like understand and get the muscle memory to do it so that they don't need me.
Yes, I love that. That is the goal, is to make our students confident enough not to need us all the time.
Correct. Like I have some students who graduated from the college last semester, from BDC's ProSem that I teach. They reach out to me every time they have like a big audition or a show and they're like, hey, I just need to brush up.
Love that.
That's exactly what I do for my teacher too. I go to her when I need a tone up.
Love it.
A tone up? A tune up. Oh no.
English is hard, especially
English
when we
is
sing
my
in
first
multiple
language.
languages. Well, here we are. Anyway. Porque no los dos. Anyway.
Because I don't speak Spanish. Je parle un petit peu français.
Ah, mais oui. Baguette. Le poisson.
We have so many French listeners. Oh no.
I know. I am so sorry. And I just sang Massenet the other day. So
you're doing great.
Anyway.
Look, just because we know what we're saying when we sing doesn't mean we know how to talk in different languages.
Yeah,
I know how to say it. I don't always know what I'm saying.
And do I want to be better at it? Yes. But has my Duolingo been very sassy to me recently?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Same.
Yes, it has.
I let a 280-day streak die.
Wow, that owl is so angry at you.
It turned into a skeleton. With like an angry face. I'm like, Duo is so obnoxious. Like, Duo is so savage. Extra. I
love it. I love their marketing though, and their social media is hysterical. Anyway,
I think it's hysterical.
We love Duolingo. It's wonderful. Yes. But something that I want to touch on that you said is us as teachers and anyone else, or there are many performers who also teach. Mm-hmm. Managing our time for us as the teacher is huge because yes, like you said,
personal and professional.
Yes, we're teaching during the day. We might have rehearsal at night. That happened to me when I taught at college all the time. I would teach during the day and then I go, wait, I need to make sure that I am listening more in my lessons, allowing my students to sing more because I have a 4-hour rehearsal tonight. I got to be able to manage my own time and sanity and space that I hold as well too. And me then at the end of the day, this is the introverted part of me, I have to decompress on my own. Mm-hmm. I do love being around people. I love teaching people. I do love being in rehearsal. But at the end of the day, it's going to be me and my cat in a book. And you just know yourself.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have to decompress on my own. Because if I am with anyone else, my energy will keep feeding off of it and I'll just go nuts, which I know about myself. And I know that if I am just around people, I will be awake, alert, and ready to go at 2 a.m. And I have to remember to turn off my lights, sit in my bed, read a book, watch some Vampire Diaries maybe.
I'm going to go watch Bluey.
I love it. But knowing that I need to tell my brain it's time to shut up and go to bed. But I think it's also it ties into managing the time that we offer our students really is something else, because like I've got my private studio and I've got my studio at the college, and I offer a lot of time that people can book with me whenever they want, but also knowing that there are certain times that I want to myself. Like I won a lottery ticket to Moulin Rouge a week or two ago, and I literally blocked off my calendar so that no one could book with me because I wanted to go to a show.
I love that. Yes.
Other things on my private studio, I have so I book through Calendly because I just needed a different system to do it, so it wasn't just in my text messages, so I didn't keep losing things. And I have a thing where you cannot book within like 36 hours of the start of a lesson.
Ah, that's a nice setting.
Yeah, so if they want something sooner, they have to text me, and I have to say yes or no, because typically if it's like within the next 36 hours, I've probably already made plans if I'm going to do anything.
Understandable.
Yeah. So managing the time that you offer them, and not just when it is, but how much it is.
Yes, I agree with that. I did that when I was teaching at a university. I made my schedule for when I taught, and I kept a certain amount of time in the morning free 4 days a week because I knew this is my time to carve out when I'm going to go to the gym, because I need that time for me. This is my time, my time, my me time.
Sounds like you need a Mai Tai.
I know. I was about to say this became a very different podcast. So
I don't think either of us drink Mai Tais. I don't particularly like them.
I do, but I am not currently drinking one of those. I am chugging water. But I knew I needed to carve out my me time for that. And then I teach then. And then I made sure I had a certain amount of time to decompress before going to rehearsal that evening. So it's managing your own schedule for your inner peace, but also making sure that you are giving as much as you can when you can to your students.
Yeah. I think something that I forgot to put into my own schedule last semester was lunch.
Oh.
I forgot to schedule a time for lunch. Like I had 2 15-minute gaps on Wednesdays. On Mondays, I had a solid like 30 minutes, but on Wednesdays, I only had those 2 15-minute gaps because I was only on campus 2 days a week because I only had 16 or 17 students. And that was silly.
Nutrition is cool. Let's do it.
It was my first semester as a college professor. I was figuring it out, and I think I understand the scheduling. I don't like doing it because I have to, there's so many moving parts. I literally texted my voice professor when I was doing it from grad school, and I went, I don't know how you did this. I hate it. And she went, yeah, it sucks.
Well, yes, no scheduling system is perfect, and there are going to be flaws in whatever institution you might be teaching in, or even in your own private studio. You might realize, oh, there's a better way I can do this. We all live, we all learn. Give yourself some grace. Ultimately, give yourself some peace of mind at the end of the day. And learning how to let go is a really hard thing to do, but we all need to just get better at it.
Sometimes you just got to kickball change in a new direction.
I love that. I love that.
But something else that I really do like to make time for myself, a lot of it was during my 2-hour commute, I knew that I had time, is keeping on top of my auditions and my emails and making sure that I had a dedicated amount of time to just do all of my tech stuff.
Yes.
Keeping on top of your own auditions, I cannot tell you how many self-tapes I recorded with you in my little troll hole studio that had no lights.
Can confirm. I was virtually there.
Yes, you were. And just because like I didn't have any other time. So being able to get a little bit more of a handle this semester on my teaching schedule versus my performance schedule that I'm hoping to have, or on top of my auditions, is something that I'm really looking forward to getting better at and getting stronger in that skill.
Love it.
So the last thing I want to talk about, because I mentioned it before we started this episode, is specifically in a collegiate setting, I find it more often than I do in my private students, is keeping students on track with their goals and their education without letting a lesson turn into a therapy session.
Okay, well...
So I talked about this a lot in my pedagogy class in grad school, and we like actually talked about how to do it. So I do like Sometimes I can weave my way in and out of it, but sometimes there's like a big thing happening in their lives. And like they need to talk about it because they know that I am a safe space. I am a mandatory reporter, but I am a safe space.
It's a safe space, and also what happens in our personal life, and because our body is our instrument, cliche as it is, it can affect us vocally.
Oh my God, I was the worst in undergrad. I cannot tell you how many times I walked into my teacher's studio, closed the door, and went, "Boys suck, and here's why." I was so dramatic. And just like, I had so many feelings. And she did a really good job of letting me express them for a minute and then going, "Okay, we're done with that. Let's go." And I tried to do it a little bit more empathetically, but because she would just be like, "And we're done with that." So I'll usually leave like the first like 5 or 6 minutes of our lesson for us to just like chit chat, catch up, make sure that we're connecting. Like personally, like I want to be someone that my students can look up to and trust and lean on when they need to. But I also need them to know that like I am your professor, not your colleague right now. Mm-hmm. So that's a line that I'm trying to make sure doesn't get blurry.
Mm-hmm. Especially in a collegiate setting, 100%.
Yeah, no, with my private studio, it's a lot easier because they're all in like 8th or 9th grade.
I know that the age gap helps. Yes. I know. I would agree. Yeah. I would say ultimately, especially those who have completed their master's or have completed their doctorate, they might have a doctor in front of their name. They've earned those extra degrees, and we have to respect that time. We have to respect that energy and their knowledge. And ultimately, voice teachers are really hard jobs. Really hard jobs.
It really is. Because it's so vulnerable.
Exactly. I was going to say it's a vulnerable, intimate process because it is a instrument that is inside of our throats. It is us. It is everything we're working with. And I definitely, in collegiate settings, when I was the student, I have to remind myself that, when I was the student, I really wanted that validation from my teacher. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure now that I'm on the other side of the piano to give that validation and make sure that I am giving compliments when I see growth, or just in general. I feel like there aren't enough compliments and positive reinforcement happening. And ultimately making sure that the students compliment themselves instead of going to the negative first.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I talked about it in a previous episode, but I call it a 3-2-1. And
I call it a compliment sandwich.
Oh, see, I do a 3-2-1. So the first thing they have to do, they finish a song, they try to start talking and go, "Absolutely not.
Shut it down.
What are 3 things you just did really well?" Like the first thing you do is you say 3 things you did really well. And then you get to pick 2 things you want to work on. It's not saying bad things about yourself. It's like, oh, these 2 things specifically could be stronger because that is what your brain can actively focus on in that moment. And then 1 is any questions.
Ooh,
so it takes out all of the negativity, and it helps reframe your brain a little bit.
I love that.
I
love this. I love the questions. Yeah. I feel like I need to add a question to my sandwich, because that's exactly very similar to what I do.
How do we keep making so many food metaphors?
Oh no, we did it again. Anyway.
Maybe it's an ice cream sandwich.
Dang it. Anyway, so I say after my student finishes their song, whatever they're performing, I say, okay, start with a compliment, then what is something you want to work on, and then you have to end with a compliment too. So I bookend with compliments, but I like the questions thing as well. Usually, sometimes a question does come up, but yeah, a question is something I might have to steal that as well.
Yeah, so the 3-2-1 I make them do. So I make them say 3 nice things about themselves, then 2 things they want to work on. Typically, if they don't know, or if I notice something that is like, I really want to focus on that, then I'll say 2 things you want to work on, you pick 1, I pick 1. And then 1 is any questions, and then I'll end it by then I give them compliments and go, cool, Yay. I want to focus here because this could be stronger.
Love it.
I have found a lot of success with that, a lot of success in my students' confidence levels, as well as knowing that I'm not going to let them bad talk themselves in a lesson with me. I think that that's something that is really important to me as someone who has suffered from a lot of imposter syndrome and who had a teacher at one point who was not kind to me specifically. And that's not the kind of teacher that I want to be.
Right. We need more positivity in this world. What we are doing as artists and singers is hard. We are bearing our soul, we're bearing our voices, we are being vulnerable in public. So the more confidence that we can spread in our students and grow within themselves, I think the better. And then we are promoting more art in the world. And that is what we need right now, is we need more art and joy and confidence in the world.
And fair pay.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway.
Woo! Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed to the show so that you never miss an episode. If you really loved this episode, we would love to see you tag us in your stories so that we can connect with more of our followers.
Thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Ah!
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Food reference.